Revenge in the Urban Jungle When Trust is Shattered by Reuben White. In the heart of New Harbor City, where the concrete jungle reached for the heavens, Eliza Monroe lived a life unnoticed by most. She was like a whisper in the city's cacophonous symphony, a solitary note lost in the grand orchestra of ambition and dreams. Her days were spent in the shadows of towering skyscrapers, her existence unremarkable, her world seemingly perfect. But all it took was one revelation, one cruel betrayal, to shatter the illusion of perfection that had enveloped Eliza's life. It was a crisp autumn morning when Eliza's world began to crumble. The sunlight filtered through her bedroom window, casting a warm glow on her face as she stirred awake. Beside her, the man she had loved and trusted for years lay sleeping, his features serene in slumber. Jonathan Hartman, with his chiseled jaw and piercing blue eyes, had once been the embodiment of everything she desired in a partner. But today was different. Today, Eliza's heart carried a heavy burden, a secret she could no longer bear. With trembling hands, she reached for her phone on the nightstand, a device that held the key to her shattered trust. Jonathan's phone lay there, innocently silent. It was an ordinary device, sleek and unassuming, but within its digital confines were the secrets that would alter Eliza's life forever. As she unlocked the phone, her pulse quickened. She had never been one to pry, to invade someone's privacy, but a gnawing suspicion had driven her to this point. Messages, photographs, and intimate exchanges unfolded before her eyes, revealing a web of deceit she had never fathomed. Jonathan's infidelity stared back at her in stark black and white, an undeniable betrayal etched into the glowing screen. Her heart pounded like a drum, and a searing anger coursed through her veins, threatening to consume her from within. She knew she had to confront him, to face the man who had shattered her trust. But as she stared at his sleeping form, she realized she wasn't ready, not yet. Instead, she locked the phone, placed it back on the nightstand, and quietly slipped out of bed. She made her way to the kitchen, her thoughts a swirling tempest of emotions. The aroma of coffee filled the air as she mechanically prepared a pot, her actions a facade of normalcy. But beneath the surface, turmoil raged. Eliza's phone buzzed, interrupting her thoughts. It was a message from her best friend, Sarah, who had been a steadfast source of support throughout her relationship with Jonathan. "Sarah, Eliza, are you okay? I heard about Jonathan. Call me ASAP." Eliza's fingers trembled as she typed a reply. "Eliza, I just found out, Sarah. I don't know what to do. It hurts so much. Sarah, I'm on my way. We'll figure this out together." As Eliza waited for her friend to arrive, she couldn't help but think of all the women out there who had been lied to by their men. She knew she wasn't alone in this pain, that countless others had faced the same betrayal, over and over again. Little did she know that her journey was just beginning, and the shadows of deceit would soon envelop her completely. Sarah arrived at Eliza's apartment, her eyes filled with concern and empathy. She had always been the friend who could be counted on, the one who stood by Eliza through thick and thin. Now, in the face of betrayal, Sarah was determined to help her friend navigate the treacherous waters of deception. Eliza greeted Sarah with a weary smile, and they embraced, the weight of their shared sorrow palpable. They sat in the cozy living room, the scent of freshly brewed coffee hanging in the air like a bittersweet reminder of normalcy. "Tell me everything, Eliza," Sarah urged, her voice soft and reassuring. Eliza recounted the painful details of the morning's discovery, from the initial shock of unlocking Jonathan's phone to the overwhelming sense of betrayal that had washed over her. Sarah listened intently, her heart aching for her friend. She had always been wary of Jonathan, sensing an underlying charm that masked something darker. Now, her suspicions had been confirmed, and she was determined to support Eliza in whatever course of action she chose. "We need to confront him, Eliza," Sarah said firmly, her eyes locking onto her friend's. "You deserve answers, closure." Eliza nodded, her determination growing with each passing moment. She knew that facing Jonathan was the only way to move forward, to confront the shadows of deceit that threatened to engulf her. The day stretched on, each passing hour bringing them closer to the inevitable confrontation. Eliza and Sarah meticulously planned their approach. They would meet with Jonathan in a neutral setting, a quiet cafe where emotions could be contained, and voices would remain steady. As the sun dipped below the city's skyline, casting long shadows that stretched across the streets, Eliza and Sarah entered the cafe. The atmosphere inside was serene, a stark contrast to the turmoil that churned within them. They found Jonathan seated at a corner table, his face a mask of anticipation and anxiety as he waited. When he saw Eliza and Sarah approaching, his eyes widened with a mixture of surprise and dread. "Eliza," he began, his voice wavering, "I didn't expect to see you here." She didn't waste any time. "We need to talk, Jonathan," she said, her tone unwavering. The cafe's ambience seemed to fade away as the three of them sat down. Eliza laid out her evidence, showing Jonathan the messages and photographs that had exposed his infidelity. His attempts to deny it were feeble, his guilt evident in the downward cast of his eyes. Sarah, unable to contain her anger, spoke up. "You've hurt Eliza beyond measure, Jonathan. She deserves to know the truth." Jonathan's face contorted with emotion, shifting from defensiveness to remorse. He admitted to his betrayal, his words heavy with regret, though Eliza couldn't help but wonder if it was genuine remorse or just regret at getting caught. The confrontation continued, emotions running high as accusations and apologies filled the air. It was a suspenseful and intense exchange, each word a weapon in the battle of love and betrayal. As the evening wore on, it became clear that Jonathan's motivations were as complex as the city itself. He claimed that he had felt neglected in the relationship, that Eliza had pushed him away. But for Eliza, these were excuses, a desperate attempt to shift the blame. When Sarah couldn't bear the charade any longer, she stood up, her voice trembling with anger. "You can't just hurt someone and walk away, Jonathan. You'll pay for what you've done." Jonathan's face hardened, and he lashed out, his manipulative charm replaced by a desperate defense. Accusations flew, emotions reached a boiling point, and it became evident that this confrontation was just the beginning of a complex and suspenseful battle that would continue to unfold. As they left the cafe, Eliza's heart felt heavy, her emotions a whirlwind of anger, betrayal, and sadness. She had sought answers, and she had found them, but the emotional toll was immeasurable. Jonathan had shattered her trust, and now the shadows of deceit loomed larger than ever before. Deceit's shadows had cast its ominous silhouette across their lives, and the suspenseful tale was far from over. Eliza knew that she had embarked on a journey filled with twists and turns, a journey that would redefine her understanding of love, trust, and revenge. If you are enjoying the Mystery Within channel, feel free to hit the subscribe, follow, or like buttons for future posts and updates. Leave a comment in the inbox for story suggestions. Thank you.